So you mentioned a lot about BDSM.
Yes.
What are some misconceptions with BDSM?
That it's abuse, first of all. It's very consensual, and it's meant to be very consensual. If somebody is in a DS or a slave relationship, they're there because they want to be. And that's the very first thing that women have to know. Because when you go out onto the BDSM dating sites and you start interacting with guys, for some reason the first sort of round of guys that you meet are always what are laughingly referred to as sort of like the two doms, okay? And they're generally the guys who are going to say to you straight away, like within the first conversation, they're going to start insisting that you call them sir or you call them master, and you don't have an opinion, and who are you to say that, and you're topping from the bottom. And that's going to be the first round of guys that you're going to run into.
That sounds scary.
It is a bit scary. And a lot of those guys are chancers, and they're there because they're there for a quick lay. So they want to bully the woman into listening to them, but it's all about the quick lay for them. There's a very big difference between power and force. You know, if you've got the power to be able to shift something and move something, that's fantastic. And most of the really fantastic masters that I've met over the years are powerful men who are confident within themselves. The first rounds of guys you're going to meet on any of these sites are going to be the guys who are going to try and force the issue. So for them, they're going to talk to you about things like they're going to kidnap you, or they're going to try and blackmail you, or they're going to try and hurt you, or you don't have an opinion and they don't care if you get hurt, and they will just rape on the first meeting or the first date, and that happens to a lot of women. There have been a lot of scary stories coming out after 50 Shades in the last year, because there's nowhere that women can go to get information, and that's what S&H is about. It's about the information, it's about the how-to, and it's about the how to stay safe, because your fantasy should not turn into a trauma.
How do we get rid of this first line of guys?
Get smart. Get very smart. Get as educated as you can. There's a couple of articles that we've actually done on this. The first thing is for a lot of people, coming out of your sexual closet is incredibly difficult, and you don't want to share that with other people.
But do you find people feel shameful?
Very much so, and guilt. Guilt is the other big one. Guilt is a much bigger killer than shame is, okay? So what they do is they don't want to get involved with the community. They don't want to make themselves known publicly. And the first bit of advice I'd give to anybody is find a decent BDSM community and get involved with that. Not only on an internet or web or virtual level,
but in person.
Yes, find the people around you, because they're going to tell you about the other people around you. Because a lot of them have been in the scene for 10, 20, 30 years.
And they know where the creepers are.
Yeah, and they know the actual people, they know the previous experiences and whatnot. Very often when you hear the horror stories, it's women who've just come into the scene, or they've just come to explore. Sex is the one thing that distinguishes your romantic relationship from all your other relationships, okay? It is important. If you have one horrible sexual trauma, that can destroy sex for you for the rest of your life. And that's a big part of what we'd like to stop, because you as a woman are entitled to have great sexual experiences, and you're entitled to actually enjoy them, and you're entitled to live your fantasies, and you're entitled to have your fantasy relationships. We want to give you the tools that you need to actually be able to build those relationships actively.